I struggled for the longest time trying to figure out how to start this. To whom it may concern seemed a little too formal and cold. And the last thing I want you to think, 2022, is that I want to be distant from you. Far from it. I want to be present and active and vibrantly alive, and you and I are going to have to work quite closely in order to get that to work out. For a while, I considered trying something flowery and flattering, like "My dearest 2022," or "To the illustrious year ahead." But that seemed too false. Like I was trying to soften you up for something, or that I wanted to start on your good side. While that's true, it's more important to me that we be honest and real with each other. Strip away the layers of social niceties and just let myself be completely sincere, no matter how vulnerable that leaves me. I even thought about starting this with a bunch of out-of-character preambles and disclaimers, and in a way, I suppose that's what this is. It's important that the listener know that this isn't their boyfriend roleplay star, Cardlin, spinning a fantasy for them, nor was it a channel announcement declaring this and that. This is just me, C, the guy behind the mic, talking in earnest to the year stretched out before him. This could have easily been handled in a private journal post or summarized on social media, and maybe this doesn't belong on the channel, but in the spirit of Carlin Audio, I can't think of anything more on brand than an awkwardly intimate dialogue between myself and an elusive entity wherein I bear a bit of my soul on the off chance that maybe some of you out there feel the same way. And through my perhaps ill-advised ramblings to the new year, you can find something you need, even if it is to just let me speak vicariously for you. In the end, I settled with something familiar, classic, timeless, and direct. So without further ado, dear 2022, I've decided to take my life back. Allow me to explain. In 2020, I think it is fair to say that my life, like that of everyone on the planet, was stolen from me. You pulled the rug right out from under us, and we toiled to find our balance. I remember distinctly a conversation with some friends wherein we were all guessing when this ridiculous this would all blow over. Some estimates were more generous than others, but in the end we all agreed that there was no possible way it could last longer than the spring, and we would all be back to our normal selves by July 4th, and wouldn't that be so poetically fitting? We had no idea how wrong we were at the time, but how could we? What we, the global we, were all experiencing was unprecedented. The world was forever shook up and rearranged in a way none of us could have prepared for, and I can't speak for everyone, but I know I personally felt that by the time the end of the year rolled around, I'd thoroughly signed the year over to the pandemic. We'll get him next year, I optimistically chimed. Enter 2021. The rolling snowballs 2020 had begun tumbling down the hill were finally gathering speed, and 2021 knocked me flat on my ass. It just kept happening over and over, and even for the most elusive and cunning of us, it was catching up. Everything was falling apart, because that's what happens when you push your limits for so long. Eventually, something's gotta give. And in 2021, I did. In a major way. I looked around me and saw nothing but loss and tragedy and scandal, and I just couldn't anymore. You took 2020 from me, but I gave you 2021. I just didn't have the fight in me anymore. Depression, anxiety, they just ate away at me. I've said this before, as you know, but in a lot of ways, 2021 was the worst year for Carlin Audio, and quite possibly my life. Not that it was entirely horrible, there were some highlights. I got to record some of what have become my favorite audios. I worked on some amazing projects. I got to collaborate with some awesome people, and I accomplished some things here and there. And sure, I fought back in my own ways. Classes for handling depression and anxiety, speaking with a therapist. I learned not to be so hard on myself, and that it was okay to slip every now and then because, damn if it wasn't slippery out there. But I let myself slip way more than I needed to. I forgave myself for letting people down. I let down my loyal patrons, time and time again, unfulfilling promises. I let down my fans, disappearing for near weeks at a time. I let down my team, proving simultaneously that I had no idea what I was doing and that I wasn't fit to be a leader, let alone a businessman. I let down my family and loved ones, and I was in a tough spot, and I did what I could given the circumstances, and maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. God knows that's what they'd all say, in their infinite kindness and generosity, telling me that they understand and it's okay, and they know I mean well, and they'd be right, in a way. I know I'd say the same to them if the tables were turned. But this is about me coming clean. This is about you and me, 2022. This is about admitting that, while you got me with a sucker punch in 2020, I laid back, showed my soft underbelly, and gave you 2021. I served it up nicely on a plate of excuses and watched you devour me. Well, I am here to kindly and politely inform you that this year, 2022, I am taking my life back. I am meeting deadlines, I am completing projects, I am uploading for my fans, I am giving my community what I promised, and I'm reclaiming everything I so willingly gave to you these last 2 years. The process of keeping and growing my channel will be what it once was and never should have stopped being. A real opportunity to help people out there, a privilege to be able to entertain through my expression, a collaborative effort with a community of scriptwriters to help make a dent in this oppressive ocean of sadness and loneliness that we all find ourselves adrift in. This is work, but it isn't just work. It's so much more. And I see that again now. You know what I'm going to leave back in 2021, though? My fear. Fear of being misinterpreted. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being seen as something I'm not. Part of what you took from me was my indignant right to be myself, to speak freely, to express myself. There's now this pervasive feeling that something I say or record or do can be misconstrued to paint me out to be this villain, next up on the chopping block to be cancelled. In the hopes of being everything to everyone and not offending anyone's sensitive palates, I've watered down my content and myself and lost the flavor of what truly made me fall in love with this in the first place. Because what I've come to realize is that it's those tastes and flavors and preferences and stylings and wordings that make me who I am. And if 7 years into this, you don't think my intentions to be pure and that I don't want to hurt anyone, then you're going to see a villain in me no matter what I say or do. And if it's not that serious and you're just not into the type of content that I do, then you can rest assured knowing that this community of VAs and ASM artists and whatever it is we are has grown exponentially since I started. And the right content creator is out there for you. I can be myself because I'm just one channel of many. And taking my life back means being okay with knowing that if you don't like what you're seeing or hearing, you can switch to any of the thousands of other channels out there. 2022, I don't know if you're going to be any kinder to us than 2021 was. For all I know, you could be worse than any year before. I can't control that. What I can control is how hard I fight. What I can control is who I am. And in 2022, I am someone who is taking their life back. For my fans, for my patrons, for my friends, my family, and you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it, for myself too. Maybe you're watching this years, or maybe even months, or maybe even just weeks down the line and this didn't work. If I've learned anything over my life, it's that the depression and anxiety never fully go away. You just get better at handling it. I'll have my rough days, but I'll have my fight back in me too. And I don't plan on giving that up without Looking back, I could have summarized this entire thing with the first 6 words of this recording. Thank you for your time.